Yep, we live.
Look, you
Week
you sound look
three.
you sound like a whole different person than I saw before week one. Now, what's going on with you? Because before week one, you was feeling good. Now it's week three, you feeling like, wait a minute, hold up, these ain't the Bears that I thought I was gonna get.
Week 3 in the NFL. This is the Ravens Bears podcast. I'm Rabbit Jones, co-hosting this thing. That's my man DJ Bill for
What's up?
show.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We everywhere tonight. We on Fox Nation Speaks over here. We on the Third Perspective Podcast. We everywhere. We everywhere tonight. We on all the platforms tonight.
Most
Um,
definitely.
Updating y'all on this. These Bears and these Ravens look like they're going in opposite directions. I don't know. I don't know. But, only 2 weeks in. Only 2 weeks in.
These Bears and these Ravens.
Now you thinking we going the opposite way? What's our record again?
2-0.
Oh damn, y'all 2-0?
2-0.
Damn. How you feeling so far about the season? Then you feel good about the 2-0?
I do. I think the first game was a little bit rough, but it was rough more so because it was just a lot of sloppy play. There was turnovers, there was penalties, and that plays a big role into a lot of the issues that the Ravens have had. Even in the last game where it felt like against the Bengals, where it felt like they had control throughout the whole game, they still had some silly penalties and a couple silly turnovers that if you clear that stuff up, I think you're gonna be feeling a whole lot better. I think the defense looks good considering the defense ain't even really healthy yet. The secondary is not quite right yet. Marlon Humphrey ain't back yet. Marcus Williams is out for an extended period of time, but I think the secondary looks good. The pass rush looks okay. At least they're getting pressure. I'm good with that. And the linebackers are always good. And then on the offensive end, they're still learning the scheme. But what I like about the offense right now is I love, a lot of people said in week one against the Texans, it didn't feel like Lamar Jackson had command of the offense. It didn't feel like it was his offense. It felt like, there was kind of a little bit of last year's offense into this offense. We didn't get to see the full display. But especially more so in week two, it felt like they got to the line fast. He got a chance to, look at the defense, see what was going on with the defense, and he got a chance to make checks and make moves and stuff. And I like that. The injuries have been an issue for the Ravens. Really throughout the whole league, if you think about it, man. The injuries have been brutal.
Man,
but it's just, the only season-ending injury I think as of right now, if I'm and let me know if I'm wrong, anybody listening or you as well, but is J.K. Dobbins, which sucks. But I think Gus Edwards is a formidable running back one for us right now. So the offense looks good. I think the wide receivers are getting into their flow of things. I think as time goes on, I think this offense is only going to get better. Because you still got to have time to learn the offense and time to run the offense in full NFL speed. And we saw last week they looked pretty good. They get a chance to play against a pretty good defense in Indy this week, and that'll be another one where it's like it's a test for the offense against that defense. And of course that their offense is pretty good too with Anthony Richardson if he does play, and what they'll do. So as of right now, through 2 weeks, I feel pretty good. I feel like the Ravens look good, but I feel like they could look even better.
Now, for me, for the Bears' perspective,
I gotta hear this.
Now, me personally, right? After tearing shit down last year, right, and then coming in to this season, I didn't expect anything. Like I was telling you before, I really don't expect too much. But my quarterback is a beast. So I don't know what can happen. You feel me? So it can go either way for us. Now, as everybody know in the news, right? A defensive coordinator resigned. And that was curious to me too, right? Now think about this for a minute, DJ. You're playing the first game of the season, right? From that point on, you don't know where your defensive coordinator at. So the second game, the coach called the defense, right? he still have no answers for where the defense coordinator at. Like, how did that even happen, bro? I'm looking like, wait a minute. Did he just fucking disappear? Did he go to Africa? Where he going? Where he at? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. Then the next day, bro, morning, he got a resignation letter. We still don't see him. We still don't hear from him. Like, what the fuck type clown show is literally going on here? You know what I'm saying? All right, first, I wanted him fired. So, for me personally, him disappearing off the face of Earth, it's part of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's part of the disaster going on with us right now. You know what I'm saying? Now, first 2 games, we 0-2. You say y'all 2-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the tape, right? The first game, we lost. Like, that was just a fucking loss, right? Second game, we gave that up. We lost that game. We supposed to won that game, bro. That was our game in all ways you can look at it. From missing sacks, from missing interceptions. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we gave it up. You know what I'm saying? Then we fumbled. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we gave this game up. And the whole time, we still in it with 3 minutes left. You know what I'm saying? From now, everybody, look, I know you heard about the press conference with Justin Fields by now, right?
No, I think I have.
You haven't heard about that? That's a good thing, then.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I heard it.
But yeah, it's on ESPN, all type of shit. And Stephen A, stop playing with me. Don't play my boys, bro. He gonna start his fucking show off, DJ. Are you listening?
Mm-hmm. I'm listening to you.
He starts his show off saying, the Bears are trash.
Oh. No.
I'm like, oh, did my ears? What? Now, we got the Kansas City Chiefs coming up, bro. All right. Now, me personally, like I told you, my coach called that defense way better than the defense coordinator disappeared. Okay, so I'm not worried about him no more. I ain't even got to worry about him. Now, my thing is going forward, right? Everybody sleeping on us, right? Everybody calling us trash. I like it too. You know what I'm saying? But I thought in the first 4 games we'd be 2-2, right? I didn't count the Chiefs, right? We 0-2. Yeah. So me personally, I'm thinking we got to steal the Chiefs joint because that wasn't on my radar there. I said my first 4 joints should be 2-2, right? So I'm thinking we 0-2, right? We have to beat the Chiefs and Broncos to put us at 2-2. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be where I want to be. Now, everybody looking at me like, how the fuck the Bears gonna beat the Chiefs? One problem. Justin Fields, baby.
That's your problem solver, huh?
You best to believe it. Now, I want to ask you something. We're going through a crisis right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a young quarterback. Now, remember, this is new in the NFL. Black quarterbacks, scrambling quarterbacks, they say can't win championships, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you having a quarterback that's going through the same thing that my man from motherfucking Justin Fields is going through. Now, I'm going to ask you watched his whole career, right? I remember the times they were talking about he can't pass and get rid of him. I remember that shit. You right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't heard that yet.
Then let me ask you. When they start saying, he can't pass from the pocket, where you was at?
So for me, I've always thought, even since Lamar's rookie year, I've always felt like Lamar could make every throw in the book. Inside the numbers, outside the numbers, to the tight ends, to the wide receivers, with people open, with no people open. But I knew that Lamar Jackson was a dynamic athlete as well, right? Like, Lamar Jackson gonna make the play. Like, that's the thing about it. Like, he want to sit in the pocket and throw, but if there's room for him to run, he gonna take off because it's in his nature to take off too. So I mean, in terms of like the criticism and stuff like that, I think a lot of from a fan's perspective, if you know your guy, you know what you got. You know, and
So
for me, I mean, I knew Lamar Jackson could throw from the moment he.
So
he
you
stepped
telling
out there.
me? I remember this shit. You trying to tell me that the Baltimore fans didn't turn on him? Start saying he can't turn. Okay.
No. I think, I mean, not necessarily. And I mean, you probably can say to this day that there's still some Baltimore Ravens fans that feel like Lamar can't throw or isn't the most accurate passer, of the football. But when you watch Lamar Jackson throw the ball, and you'll even hear commentary speak on it sometimes. Sometimes what seems like an inaccurate throw is actually a throw where he's throwing his receiver away from the defender, and it looks inaccurate because it's behind the receiver, but he's trying to protect this guy and give him a chance to not get knocked out by the incoming defender too. And I mean, we've talked about from back then, those years prior to this one. I mean, there was nobody to stop on the outside of the field. You was focusing on number 8, Lamar Jackson, and that was it. That was the only guy you was mainly focused on. Lamar Jackson. How can I stop Lamar Jackson? I'm not worried about the rest of the talent until the rest of the talent shows that they can beat me. I'm worried about Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, because Mark Andrews showed that I'm a 1,000-yard receiver, and I'm good at this tight end stuff, But I think in terms of like dealing with the criticism as a fan, I think it's important to stick up for your guy if you really believe in him. I did the same thing for Joe Flacco. A lot of people didn't like Joe Flacco. I don't care what you say about Joe Flacco. That's my guy. You know
You
what
didn't
I
say
mean?
Joe Flacco, did you?
That's my guy right there.
Don't do that to me.
You ain't gonna talk bad about Joe, okay? Joe came out here. He did what he could with the weapons that he had. He didn't have no good weapons either. He had Steve Smith on his last leg, which he still played well, but Steve Smith had injuries, so that was an issue too, right? It took them getting a guy like Anquan Bolden, a guy who can go up and get every pass you throw at him, to get to that next hump. Because let's not forget, Joe Flacco was the same guy who had the Ravens in the AFC Championship game in back-to-back years. And if it wasn't for a drop catch by Lee Evans and a missed field goal by Billy Cundiff, we might not get Anquan Bolden, and we might not get Justin Tucker right at this moment, and we might probably win that Super Bowl against the Giants. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But like, for me, if I believe the dude can play, I believe the dude can play. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, you're gonna make some mistakes. I ain't never sat on any platform or any space or any Ravens anything and said that Lamar Jackson is perfect. But when I watch Lamar Jackson play, it's obvious that he's an accurate thrower to football, and it's obvious that when you look at the rest of the stats, number one, you can't lead the league in rushing and lead the league in passing. That's not how it works, right? Number two, if you are averaging the lowest yards after catch, how you gonna throw for a lot of yards? You're just not, right? I care more about scoring than I do about yards. If you end up with 36, 40 passing touchdowns, and you end up with 3,000 yards, I don't care. I don't care if you had 3,000 yards. When it was time to score, you scored.
Exactly. But that's where the Bear fans and the organization is where y'all was at, right? It's like, now, do the coaching staff force the issue on making sure you stay in the pocket, make sure this is the time, and that's your read. Look, you know what I'm saying? Don't run. Stay your ass here. You know what I'm saying? All this type shit. Did y'all go through all that?
I think, I'm gonna be honest. I think the Ravens were a little bit lucky in the sense of, number one, I think it does help that Lamar Jackson wasn't the number 1 overall pick or the number 4 overall pick or nothing like that. Then the Ravens picked him at 32. That doesn't mean they won the Super Bowl the year previously, because they didn't. I don't think they made the playoffs that year. But the Ravens were in a better spot than a lot of other teams. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the Ravens were the best team in the league and not missing the playoffs year after year either. They were a bubble team, a perennial bubble team pretty much. And I think, the advantage is the Ravens went all in for Lamar Jackson when they put him in. I mean, I'm talking about from the moment they put him in, they formulated that offense so he could be great in it, to play to his strengths. And that's okay. That's not an indictment on how much somebody can run or how much somebody can throw. We see that you're a dynamic athlete, and we see that, and we can find ways to get other guys open within this offense. And that's what they did, and that was from that was in 2018, and then 2019 when he led the league in touchdown passes. There was a reason behind that because people expected him to run like he did previously, and there was so many big plays. There was so many chunk plays. I said, I said it. The next year, I felt like I felt like the Ravens had to learn how to play from behind that next year, because in 2019 the Ravens were blowing everybody out. Like I still struggle to watch close games with the Ravens because I'm so used to seeing them blow teams out, seeing them score 30 points and blowing teams away, sitting guys in the fourth quarter. And I think sometimes like the Ravens were successful very early, and Lamar Jackson was a big part of that. He made a lot of big plays. He made a lot of game-winning type plays that helped the Ravens, especially in 2018 when he came in and was 6-1, and in 2019 when they was 14-2. He came like the tough part for Bears fans is if y'all were winning, y'all might overlook some things that Justin Fields is doing or Justin Fields isn't doing, right? But like all the pressure comes on the quarterback, whether it's Justin Fields' fault or not. I'm not saying it's not Justin Fields' fault. I'm not saying there's no issues. I'm not saying he don't miss throws. But my thing is with this team and with the Bears, I think they're gonna have to lean into what Justin Fields does well. And you ain't gotta rush him into nothing. What's up, Hendo? That's another Ravens content creator. He makes great content, so be sure to check him out too, man. But I just and Rail, you wrong for that. I'm gonna let you know you wrong for that, because if you don't see a difference between Lamar and Tyler Huntley, you've been watching highlight tapes. You ain't been watching real games, my friend. Because I tell you what, I'll tell you two things that's different between Lamar and the backup. Number one, Lamar's arm is just far better than Tyler Huntley, right? Like Lamar's arm and his athleticism. I mean, there's no other Lamar Jackson out there. Number two, the win total. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. Y'all can say what y'all want. Wins ain't a QB stat till we want to put him on the QB. Y'all can say what y'all want. But Tyler Huntley, he ain't got the same record as Lamar Jackson. He ain't got a similar percentage as Lamar Jackson. So yeah, you can put that away. But like, and that goes back to what I was saying before. Like, Lamar was successful right off the bat, and because Lamar is successful right off the bat, winning is the best deodorant too. They always say that winning is the best deodorant. So, there may be some issues. I mean, I've said it before. Like, I think Lamar covers up some issues that are obvious and glaring to Ravens fans who watch every week. This offensive line is not good. I'm sorry, it's not. It ain't been good since Marciano retired in 2019. But it's Lamar's ability to extend plays and stuff like that. We act like, this defense is a top 5 defense ranked every year, but this defense gave up lead after lead last season, and that was half the reason why they didn't make the playoffs.
Shouts out to my general manager for coming out there and pouring water on this fire that we had going on in Hollis Hall. And all the rumors out there about pedophilia, pictures, and all this nonsense, raiding the Hollis Hall, never happened. That was shit that was going on Twitter. It's funny how shit can go on Twitter and end up in the mainstream. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
Well, X, whatever the fuck his name.
Right.
It's shit crazy. So I want you to right now, what we were just discussing, right? So to me, Lamar Jackson is somewhere. When they was trying to teach him, I know they were teaching him to stay in the pocket, right? But eventually they said, fuck it, we got to start running, right? Did you agree with the more running when they said it? Because obviously he been getting hurt a lot. So is that part of the game you want? Because you got to remember, this is new to the NFL. Black quarterbacks that run athletic, you know what I'm saying? Can we win with them, right? So to them, to the white culture, well, the NFL culture, to them, you can't win unless you're Montana or Marino, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, what you think? Is it possible for the mixture of that running quarterback like a Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson or main man in Cleveland? Mm-hmm. Like, is it room for you to win a championship and stay in the pocket and run? You know what I'm saying? Can we do it?
I think you got to be able to move at least a little bit. These defensive linemen and linebackers too they're too athletic for you to just stand back there nowadays, unless you got a receiving core that's going to get open, like the Chargers. Justin Herbert can stay in the pocket because he's got some of the best talent in the world. Joe Burrow can stay in the pocket because he's got top 5 offensive weapons. So I mean, you see the difference between the guys who got top offensive weapons and the guys who don't. Or the guys who still got guys who developing, or still got guys who ain't really necessarily shown what they're worth on the outside. I definitely think there's room. There's room to showcase that you can win a Super Bowl as a mobile QB. I mean, I think as accurate as Patrick Mahomes is his ability to move around and to take off when he needs to take off that makes him that much more special. And this, there's a reason why
it's a difference now. Hold on. All right, I understand.
So you saying run? So you saying not necessarily mobile? You saying run? You saying like run first?
It's two different people.
Okay.
Like I get what you're saying about Mahomes, right? He real agile in that pocket. He move around, sling it all type of ways in the pocket, right? But different, like a Vic, motherfucking Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields, they different. Like it ain't no just scramble real quick to some. They can break it 80, 90 yards. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Yeah.
It's hard to turn that down as a person, and you're a quarterback and say, I know I can run 90, but I'm gonna go around the bounds. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's tough.
I think it depends too on how many hits you take. Like the thing about being a mobile quarterback that I think sometimes is forgotten, is it's almost like death by 1,000 paper cuts. I think it was Sip Talley who said that about Lamar Jackson getting injured last year. It's like, you taking these hits over and over again. They literally designing you to run up the middle like a running back. And it's that's tough. Like it's different if it's on a scramble. I mean, you don't see a lot of guys who just happen to, drop back the pass, they happen to scramble and then they take off. Like you don't see those guys getting hurt because they get down when it's time to get down and stuff like that. But the guy, even Anthony Richardson, right? He puts his body on the line. He's big. He's a big, strong guy. He can run through some people. The only one you haven't really seen injury issues with has been like Josh Allen.
Yeah, Richardson got knocked out, got concussion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only one you really haven't seen any issues out of has been like Josh Allen. But I mean, eventually that catches up with you too. You big and strong when you're young, but as you get older, it's it's a struggle. I think.
Do you think Josh Allen is good from the pocket?
I think he is. I think he just turns the ball over too much.
Because he dips a lot too.
I think that's his issue. I think his issue is he turns the ball over too much. I think Josh Allen's issue is carelessness. And nobody's gonna really bring it up because it's Josh Allen. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's not Justin Fields. But Josh Allen turns the ball over more than any quarterback in the league. That's a fact.
And then and Josh Allen, again, he can run, but he just not no Michael Vick, no fucking Lamar Jackson, or no Justin. He's just not them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's different levels to this shit. Like my Bears, my favorite quarterback, the best quarterback I think we ever had in Chicago Bears history, right? It's Jim McMahon, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody might laugh at me and be like, what the fuck you mean? But yeah, he was accurate. He knew where he was going with the ball, and he would dip on your ass quick to the point where it was spies on Jake McMahon back in them days. Mm-hmm. They had spies on him, bro. He wasn't like no motherfucking Justin Fields, nowhere near. But he'll dip on you quick and take it. He's not a quarterback that will run out of bounds. He's taking it. He's trying to score. That's different from like a Brady that's running, like what's his name in Cincinnati that might run out of the pocket. They're not looking to score. They're trying to get as many inches as possible before they get down right out of bounds.
Yeah,
it's a different quarterback when you got Michael Vick. It's like I ain't sliding, motherfucker. I know you can't catch me. I'm about to dip on your ass, bro.
I think a lot of it too, like, and something that's not talked about enough. With the mobile quarterbacks is a lot of times the mobile quarterbacks don't get the best weapons either, right?
Why is that?
It took Lamar Jackson 5 years to get some true,
that's too, though.
some true weapons.
It's like, oh, you can't throw, you can only run, but I'm gonna give you this garbage receivers and try that. Like what?
And the crazy part is, like, when you look at the rushing stats from last year, Justin Fields was the leading rusher, then it was Lamar Jackson, and then it was Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen is the only one who, Josh Allen, then Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, of course, made it to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen made it to the divisional round, I think. But Josh Allen,
do you think Hurts is the same type of runner as you put him in that box?
I think what Hurts. Everybody try to call you when you're on the show.
That always happens. Yeah.
I think what Hurts, I don't think Hurts is necessary. I don't think Hurts is run first. I think Hurts is like, we don't take off when it's time. I think he might be the closest to like a run first type guy. But I think once again, like if I got to defend AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert, right? I got to defend all these weapons. Yeah, you gon' get off on me when it comes to running the ball. Like, but I think it helps him because he gets a little more space to run the ball. Because I'm worried about AJ Brown because we know AJ Brown is a true number one. We know Devonta Smith could probably be a true number one. And then on top of that, Dallas Goedert is a really good tight end in the league. So I think when you look at like the rushing stats, like you see, obviously Justin Fields is far and away better than anybody else when it comes to running the ball. When it comes to the stats last year. But I think at the same time, like, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen were kind of they were back to back. They was right there. I love to see it, the 21 stats. I have to look it up. But like it's just you see these other quarterbacks, you see the talent that's around them is far different. The guys who made it far into the playoffs who still had a little bit of a running presence, like going back to Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, they got some really good outside talent around them, so they can get down when they need to get down. There's more spacing on the field for them not to get hit, not to take hits, to dip out of bounds if they need to. There's more spacing for that type of stuff. And I think for Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields, especially last year, I'm not the only guy I'm worried about is Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields right now.
Exactly. Because no Mike Vick no more. So the only two people that can carry the mantra for dual threat quarterback is the two people we talk about. These are the only two people that can change how people think about it. It's one of us or we both meet up in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, honestly, and it's hard to say because Lamar Jackson been in the league for 5 years. Justin Fields been in the league. This is his third year. So, with him still being young in the league, I always take that into account, the fact that you being young in the league. It's going to be interesting to see how this year goes, watching both of them, right? Because Lamar Jackson, who is seen as a run-first quarterback, but has weapons around him now. Let's see how that plays out in terms of how far they go when it comes to the playoffs and stuff like that versus what Justin Fields does if they can, find a way to bounce back, with Justin Fields being more of a, run first style quarterback right now with where he is in his maturation and everything. So, it's crazy to think because it was 5 quarterbacks who rushed over 500 yards and 3 out of the 5 made it to the playoffs. And honestly, 4 out of the 5 would have made it to the technically 4 out of the 5 made it to the playoffs because I forgot the Ravens didn't make it to the playoffs last year. So, I think there's room for it. And we've seen running quarterbacks we've seen what Colin Kaepernick was able to do when he was in San Francisco. Did they evolve that? Did they, keep him from getting hurt and stuff like that? Like that's a whole other question. But
it's like the team give up on the running quarterback.
Yeah, I think there's a narrative around. Let's be honest. There's a narrative around mobile quarterbacks, but there's a distinct narrative around black mobile quarterbacks.
Exactly.
That's part.
That is where I'm about to go with this, right? It's like the shortest leash possible is running quarterback. And then if you're a black running quarterback, that leash gets real small. Because now you being traded as, oh, you can be a wide receiver, running back now. You switch them in the head. You know what I'm saying? You turn into that. When that don't happen to other people. Like they try their best to make them a quarterback. It's like it's always, you know, you can be a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Or running back. You know what I'm saying? They always switch them around and shit.
Yeah.
That's only black quarterbacks though.
Yeah, and I mean that's how it is, you know, because I mean, like I can guarantee you I haven't heard not a lick about a guy who was literally the top paid quarterback in NFL history for, you know, about a couple weeks in Justin Herbert, and he's 0-2. You know, he hasn't been able to win, you know, will his
He won shit. I'm confused why his name come up all a lot. Like, what he got to do with anything? He haven't been winning at all. He got a squad. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he got. I mean, one of the best squads in the league when it comes to supporting talent around him. He got a
literally since he's been in the league, he had a squad.
Yeah, and I mean, they blame coaches. You know, they blame coaches. Like that's the thing. Like, you know, for guys like him, they blame coaching. For guys like Lamar, they blame Lamar. You know, that's how it is. You know, I mean, yes, John Harbaugh has won a Super Bowl, but he makes some silly mistakes too. He goes for it on fourth down when he probably shouldn't go for it on fourth down, or goes for 2 when he probably shouldn't go for 2.
He was there in 2002?
Not 2002, the 2012 one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm about to say. So how the rest of your season look?
I think it was good to start out 2-0, and I said they probably would because I felt like the Texans being a young team, I think I thought it was going to be a little tough for them, and then I thought with the Bengals, you know, I always say like the Bengals early on in the season, they're just not right yet. They started 0-2 last year, so and for the 0-2 teams, don't get too discouraged because the Bengals started 0-2 last year and they made the playoffs. So there you go. But plus you got the extra spot up in there, so you know you got some time. When it comes to the Colts, I think they should beat the Colts. I think they should beat the Colts. I don't care if it's Gardner Minshew in there. I don't care if it's Anthony. I think young quarterback Anthony Richardson. You know, I think they should have a field day against him. But I think with Gardner Minshew, I think it should be the same thing. You know, he's a backup quarterback. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good. He's a backup quarterback. When it comes to like the Browns, I just don't think the Browns are right yet. I don't think the Browns are where they want to be yet. They turn the ball over too much. I think they'll be fine. I think Kareem Hunt's going to help them out a lot after losing Nick Chubb for the season. But you know, Deshaun's still trying to find his way in this offense because it's a different offense than he ran in Houston. So I think early on in the season, once again, it's another one of those early wins that you can get if you're a Ravens. You know, if you're the Ravens, the Steelers. The way they look, I don't think they look good at all. If the Browns can hang on to the friggin' football, I mean, if the Browns can hang on to the darn football, they would have won. You know, the Steelers would be 0-2 right now. But you know, I don't want to talk about it. I think the Ravens can win that one too. The Titans in London, that's kind of a trap game because number one, it's in London, but also at the same time, it's the Titans too. But I think the Ravens will be fine because I don't think the Titans are that good either. The Lions, I think week 7 through week 12 before the bye week is a tough little stretch of the schedule, man. Because you got the Lions who I think are competing. I think the Ravens should beat the Lions, but they are competing. They look good. The Cardinals, another one of those teams that should probably be rolling over playing dead, but they're competing every week. They should have beat the Giants last week. I don't know how the heck they let that go, but you know they did. So, but I think those are 2 winnable games. The Seahawks is probably the toughest out of that 3-game stretch right there, and I think with the Seahawks, I think with the Seahawks, that's a home game too. I think the travel is a little bit rough for them coming to Baltimore in that week. I think the Ravens can win that one too. I mean, I think it's a winnable game. But I can see them dropping one of those games just because, you know, it's the NFL, right? Sometimes you don't show up. Sometimes you come out flat. Sometimes you come out flat against a team you shouldn't come out flat against. And then, of course, you got more divisional games right after that with the Browns and the Bengals. I think it was, coming back again. I don't know why they keep stacking these darn division games back to back like that, but whatever. Y'all do what y'all want. I think they can beat the Browns again. I don't care how good the Browns look by then. I think they can beat them again. I think they beat the Bengals again. I think it's gonna be tough. I think Joe Burrow actually be healthy this time. But I mean, a healthier Ravens defense has proven to be Joe Burrow's kryptonite sometimes. So I think that's good too.
That's San Francisco week 16. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, I think the Chargers will be tough, but I think they can beat the Chargers too.
Should be able to beat Pittsburgh though.
Yeah, I think the Rams. I think the Rams will be better. I think they could beat them too. I mean, I think the Ravens can win all of these games. But it's bound to be one or two that just like, you come out flat or something. And it's just kind of how the NFL is. I can see that London game early on in the week 6 being one of those that you come out a little flat and maybe it's hard to come back from it. But it's gonna be like, it's gonna be kind of how you respond really. If you do come out flat. If you do come out flat.
Joint sweet for real.
Jacksonville, I don't think Jacksonville is as good as they think they are. Or as good as people think they're gonna be. Honestly, I think another team gonna win that division, but I just don't know which one it's gonna be. To be honest. San Francisco's gonna be tough. San Francisco's gonna be tough, but
and then you got to play the Dolphins after that.
Yeah, Dolphins gonna be tough. That could be a late.
You can run around and mess around and lose the last 3. That look tough.
Yeah,
last 3 of your joints, especially if Pittsburgh's still fighting for something.
But I think Pittsburgh is trash, so I think we're gonna see Pittsburgh for once.
They are.
We always end up.
You can't sweep them though. Y'all ain't gonna sweep.
That's the thing. That's the tough part. Like you don't really sweep them, but I mean, I just said we sweep the whole darn division, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, the schedule looks good. I think. I mean, I think, especially if the offense can keep finding their rhythm, that's going to be the biggest thing. How quickly can this offense find themselves?
Now, me personally, right now, the Green Bay, Tampa Bay, I get it. This Kansas City game coming up for us is huge, baby. Huge game in Kansas City. 12-point underdogs. We lose this, would be 0-3 for the season. 0-13 for the last 2 seasons. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I got a question, Rabbit. I got a question for you.
That's tough.
Because my question is, can the Bears defense give the Bears offense time to get going?
And that's what I alluded to earlier, because the defensive coordinator disappeared, who I wanted fired. Which
it works.
It works, you know what I'm saying? It works hand in hand, And then you got the head coach who come from defense, his mastermind, take over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like the defense is going to be better just for that point alone, just that alone. Then getting Justin the ball back more and more is going to be a huge part of how we do this thing. You know what I'm saying? We go to Denver. I just don't see that as a tough game. I can't imagine them having I don't see them stopping Justin, bro. I just don't see it. And then we come to Washington and Landover, where I got them tickets, and I'm going to be sitting in the crowd watching my man Justin Fields on a Thursday night, baby. All I need you to do is play this game, next game against Denver, do not get hurt, and then I get to see you. You know what I'm saying? 2 games away from watching Justin Fields, baby, and beat the snot out of motherfucking Washington.
I know it's at Washington. No, well, you out that way, so you probably. I'm curious, how do you buy your tickets? Do you get your tickets online or you go to the box office? Because it's a little cheaper if you go to the box office. I'm just curious.
But this time right here, the joint is on Thursday night, so I didn't want to take a chance. I got these joints way when they first put the schedule out. So right now it's sold out, so I was lucky.
Oh, really? Is it?
It's a Thursday night game, yeah. So I'm sweet on that Washington game. I'm gonna be there for sure. Watch me on the big screen. They're gonna put it on me. They're gonna put the camera on. Minnesota, they looking like dumpster fire, baby. We're gonna dig in that shit ASAP. Las Vegas might be a little tough because their defense got a little umph to them. But other than that,
the defense is good. But I mean, as long as you can outscore them, they ain't scoring no points.
outscore is the key right here. It's Claypool and Mooney and everybody clicking. Because don't forget, Moore did have 100 and some yards receiving last week, even though they ragged my man Justin Fields. Somebody had 100 yards receiving. Somebody had to throw it to him. That bad quarterback that y'all saw about. You know what I'm saying? New Orleans, Los Angeles. Those are the ones right there I think is going to be a trick bag for us right here. When we get to Los Angeles and New Orleans. Trick bag. Both of them away. That right there. That's why I say it's crucial we beat Kansas City, right? In the big scheme of things. And squeak that one out against Denver. So therefore, we 2-2. Once we go to Washington, blast their ass. So therefore, it put us at 3-2. Where it set us up because that Las Vegas, then LA Chargers, then the New Orleans. That is tough. That's a tough road right there. All in a row. You feel me? So we have to put our foot down in Kansas City. I know it. I know Kansas City. I know it. It's a bad situation we in, but we have to. You know what I'm saying, dog? We have to win in Kansas City. We have to beat the brakes off their black ass ASAP. Then we come back to Carolina, which I'm hoping is still a disaster, right? We can squeak one out there. Now,
y'all looking a little similar right now.
Now, this is the funny thing about Carolina, right? We traded our pick, right, to Carolina. Got their wide receiver who had 100 yards receiving last week. Took their receiver from him, right? Gave him our pick. They picked what's fool name? The quarterback?
Bryce Young.
They picked Bryce Young. And everybody was like, why you giving first? There's no quarterbacks out here other than Richardson. Richardson ain't going to be nice, though. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be nice.
Look good, though.
You don't think so?
I think as of right now, from the rookie quarterbacks I'm thinking of off the top of my head, I mean, I think Anthony Richardson looks good, and I think C.J. Stroud looks good, too.
Stroud do look
from
good
Houston,
too. I mean, he looks like he has a future. Put it like when you look at a quarterback playing as a rookie, you could tell if they have at least a future. You don't know if they're gonna be a star or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like Stroud, you see him, you say, okay, I can see him 6 years from now still playing in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not a star, maybe a backup, but I can see enough where he gonna be here. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell it. I don't know why. You could just tell somebody gonna be at least you could tell it because the way they throw it. Now Richardson is kind of shaky with me because he throw funky. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how long that's gonna last. But hey, it works for people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But then we take this bye, right? This is when we're gonna run our stretch. Detroit, Cleveland, Arizona, Atlanta. We can try to win 4 straight. Now, Cleveland gonna be tough, but 4 straight right there is where I want to be after the bye. Now, that should put us at 7 to 8 wins, right? With 2 games to go. Now, that should put us in the hunt for the division title too. Where at the end of the season, the 18th week, guess who we got? Green Bay Packers, baby. And we're going to be fighting for stuff. They are too. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. That's how I see our future.
I don't know, Randy. That's wishful thinking.
You're not feeling me? You're not feeling me on none of that.
I can see y'all doing the little 4 or 5 game stretch at the end because I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, just about like I think the Bears are like they about to have the same season they had last year. You know, where they start off a little slow and then they get a little hot at the end of the season.
I think that's gonna happen too. And then Justin Fields done put a spark under everybody anus when he said, "Fuck it, I'm just playing my game." You know what I'm saying, dog? Like we said the other day, everybody listening, everybody worried about him saying the coaches did something. I heard him say, "I'm saying fuck it, man. Fuck all that stand here, your precision here, and then look here and 3 degrees here. No, fuck all that. Give me the ball, and I'm gonna be MJ out here." Michael and Jones. You know what I'm saying? Beast out here, bro. Let's get up on anything you gotta say for Gary, though.
No, you know, as I always say, make sure you put the third perspective podcast in the same queue that you put Fire Nation Speaks in, so you can listen back to back. You
best
just
to
get
believe
greatness.
it.
You just get greatness the whole day. You just get
best to
greatness the whole
believe it. You best to believe it, baby. When you get the best of both worlds, sports, hip hop culture, all in a mixture in one day. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a nice day for you too. Then at the end, you can slide through and listen to the Ravens and Bears. You know what I'm saying? In depth. When you've checked into this joint, you get in depth Ravens, in depth, passionate Ravens, passionate Bears. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. You know? Let's tell you a little intro for y'all too. It'd be more sweeter. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get y'all right. We're gonna get y'all right.
It's definitely more sweeter though. Appreciate everybody though. We out. You know what I'm saying?